morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching us from. Compliments of the season. Yes, we are still in the Christmas mood. I hope you had a Merry Christmas celebration and we look forward to a glorious new year by the special grace of God. I remain Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for the Connect with Comfort show. On this show, we aim to add value to people and business enterprise as well as personal growth. Today, we are running a special edition of the show as the grand finale for year 2025, while we look forward with joyful anticipation for the new year 2026. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. We actually felt it's a good point in time to have this particular session for us to reflect and see what has worked for us, to reflect how to prepare for the new year, as well as to share information about the program for the new year. The end of a year is not merely a turning of the calendar, it is an opportunity for honest evaluation and intentional alignment. Reflection asks us to look back with clarity, acknowledging our victories with pride, confronting our challenges without regret, and extracting wisdom from both success and setback. Because in those challenges, there are lessons to be learned also. It also reminds us that growth is often hidden in the lessons we almost overlook. That is, sometimes when we have challenges, we look at it as if it's all bad. There are some lessons, critical lessons, that could actually for our growth that we sometimes overlook. Readiness, on the other hand, calls us to look forward with purpose. As we are all looking forward to the new year, it means we have to be ready, not just looking forward. It challenges us to move beyond wishful thinking into deliberate preparation, strengthening our mindset, sharpening our skills, and renewing our commitment to values that will guide our decisions in the year ahead. So we'll be going into this in a deeper mode after the break. But before we go on break, we are also assuring you that the subject matter of discussion today is also what has played out with this Connect with Comfort show. We are going to be rolling out new modified show by the grace of God come third week in January. We'll give you more information later, but as a teaser, and for you to also know that what we preach or what we advise, we also imbibe. That's why we are giving that information ahead of time. So before we go fully into the topic for today, we'll go on this short break and we'll be right back. Please remain connected. Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for staying connected. As we said, this particular session is dedicated to reflection. We are not featuring special guests because we are talking to ourselves. And please feel free to make your comments, even contribution on points that will be raised. Like I said, it's a joint session that we are talking to ourselves, advising ourselves in preparedness for the new year. So we are saying reflection and readiness for the new year. That's actually the focus of our discussion today. As said earlier, the power of reflection is looking back with purpose, not with regret. Looking back with purpose. We do not regret what has passed, but how best can we use the lesson learned therefrom? Because that reflection will give us insights into how we can make things better, bigger, and more purposeful. The outgoing year holds lessons, patterns, and signals we sometimes ignore, albeit at our peril. We can ask the question, what has worked for us in the outgoing year? What did not? What are those things that we have done all our best and still did not come out the way we expected? What are the elements of surprises that we suffered during the year? Surprises, of course, can be positive, can be negative. So what has surprised us during the year, things you have not planned for and it came out of the blue? What has stretched you beyond perhaps your capability, that you sometimes feel like giving up? So these are things reflection will allow us to harvest wisdom from. From all those experiences, we will be able to harvest wisdom from the lessons learned and not just considering them as mere memories. Then we can start measuring progress beyond numbers, because in some people understanding, when you say progress, they think perhaps is the amount of profit or the increment in salary and things like that. We must be able to measure progress beyond numbers. Success is more than outcome. It includes growth, resilience, and alignment. So we need to consider, how did I grow personally professionally or business wise in the outgoing year? Did my values show up in my decisions? I believe we all have values that we consider are peculiar to us or which we align ourselves to. Did it show up in all decisions we have made in the year? What relationships strengthen or strained my resolve? Because that is also very important for you to know which one to embrace in the new year and which one to petition. So progress is often quieter than achievement, but not necessarily less significant. So we need to acknowledge losses, setbacks, and unfinished business. We should not deceive ourselves and just pretend the bad things did not happen or bad times did not happen or losses or discouragement, setback did not happen. It's all part of the journey. It is not every goal that we set that we are able to meet most times. And it's not also every plan that we make succeed. But that's okay. It's part of life. Therefore, we need to have an honest reflection. And that means intentionally counting or naming missed opportunities, delayed dreams, hard lessons. Of course, when we say hard lessons, it means things must have gone or not as planned. We also need to consider that closure is a gift we give ourselves before crossing to the new year. If we have had setback, we have suffered losses, we have had disappointments, we need to have a closure to it. Otherwise, that baggage will be carried to the new year, and that's what you don't want to do. So, give yourself a gift for the end of the year by having a closure to bad experiences in the course of the year. Another important thing to consider is gratitude for little things. You should take gratitude as a strategic force. Gratitude helps to reframe perspective and renews our energy. We should be thankful not only for victories, but lessons learned, help received, strength discovered under pressure. Because gratitude creates emotional readiness for what lies ahead. So it is that important. So, with all that reflection, we can now consider how ready are we for the new year. Readiness is more than resolution. I know we all know that commonly everybody makes New Year's resolution and some just only lives for few hours. So readiness that we are talking about is more than resolutions. The new year does not reward wishes. So wishful thinking has no place. It responds to preparation, and that means we really have to prepare, be ready for what we are expecting for the new year. It should not remain wishes. If I need to make more profit in my business, how positioned, how ready is my business to embrace new opportunities in the new year to make a difference to what I've been doing before? So those are things that we need to look at. So when we say readiness, we mean mental clarity. We have to be very clear in our mind what are our set goals, what we want to achieve. It also means emotional intelligence, emotional resilience. We have to be strong minded to withstand any little upheavals. That shows readiness. Also, it could also means for most of us spiritual or ethical grounding, which is quite important. Without readiness, new opportunities can become new burdens because we are not ready to take the advantage of it or give it what it deserves to be able to achieve the benefit therefrom. We necessarily need to look at our vision. Does it need resetting in line with all that has happened in the past 12 months or 11 months, some days, not exactly 12, but close to 12 months? Do we need to reset our vision from survivor to intention, not just coasting along? We need to ask, what do I want? But not only what do I want, more importantly, who must I become in the new year? Whom do I want to be known for in the new year? So we need to clarify our core priorities to be able to answer that question very well. Whom do I become? Who must I become in the new year? Clarify your core priorities. Your values should be non-negotiable. You should not just, for the sake of benefit, throw away your values. Areas requiring courage and discipline should be well identified, and mental readiness should be accorded that, because it's not easy to summon courage in the face of adversity and discipline, especially in the face of temptation. So we need to be sure that we get all this clarified in our mind. A clear vision reduces distraction and decision fatigue, hence the need to look at possibly resetting our vision if if need be. We also need to look at releasing all those things that no longer serves us. Anything from business interest, even work or relationship, anything in our lives. When we have done the reflection which we started with, things that we have identified not to have worked well for us or that has not worked in our interest, or, or that will no longer serve us, maybe it has served in the past, but will no longer serve us, we need to release them. Readiness sometimes means letting go. You must be brave enough to let go. It also means when we say let go, it can be old habits, it can even be your limiting beliefs that you are always limiting yourself because of the belief you carry. You need to let go. It is not positive, it is not progressive. Unproductive relationship, like I said, there are some relationship that you are better off without. They may be limiting, they may be drawing you back. You need to identify all those and stay clear of them. Also, outdated strategies. The world is so dynamic that you cannot continue to use strategy that you used 5, 10 years ago that has worked well and believe that it will continue to work. Maybe few years will continue depending on what they are, but you need to realign with the current realities and look at strategies that no longer work and jettison them. So we cannot step fully into the new while clinging tightly to the old. That is the old that does not work well for us. So if you are bracing yourself for the new, like the common saying that you cannot continue to do the same thing the same way while you expect a different result. So all this will speak to our readiness for the new year. Of course, this is an ongoing thing for everybody. You need to build capacity for the new year. Growth demands capacity building, sharpening of our skills, developing and building on our current skills, systems, support, and stamina. We need to ask, what skills must I develop to get the full benefit for the new year or to achieve my goal for the new year? Once you identify that skill, please try and commit to it and develop, get training, and make sure you achieve what will be useful for you to make progress. In your business, what system must you strengthen? You need to identify that or ask that question of yourself to know how best to strengthen that system or change it altogether if need be. Who must I learn from or partner with in the new year? Identify those who have similar mindsets for growth, not those who will tell you 1001 reason why something is not achievable and therefore dampen your spirit. So these are questions we need to ask in building capacity for the new year. In all this, it's important for us to be consistent. Consistency, not necessarily perfection, but be consistent in what you do so that people can know, yes, this is what this person stands for, this is what this program aims to achieve. Consistency is very important, even where you are not perfect, and you hardly have a perfect human being anyway. Not even a system is perfect. The new year is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't expect to achieve everything that you have penned down in the first month so that you don't start burning out quickly or discouraging yourself, believing that you have failed. But achieve small, consistent actions and perform dramatic but short-lived efforts. There are some instances where you have to make that spirited effort, which is out of the normal, depending what situation you have at hand. But it cannot continue with such pace. But with your consistency, achieving small growth consistently, you will outperform such short-lived efforts. We need to remember that progress thrives on discipline. We must be able to even discipline ourselves and not just rest on our comfort zone alone. Accountability and adaptability. And I think we all know this is the year that this is even more important with the wisdom of the tax reform that is coming into place 1st of January, just around the corner. We also need to enter the new year with hope and responsibility. We must be hopeful because hope fuels motivation, it fuels responsibility and ensures execution. When we have hope, we are more likely to put more effort into what we are doing and be ready to think out of the box. So, in essence, we should step into the new year with confidence, not fear. I know some people, the fear of the unknown makes them jitters, but you do not need to fear. Approach the new year with confidence. Step into the new year with humility, not complacency. Don't take it like the case sera, whatever will be, will be. In some cases, that does not fuel growth. With expectation and not entitlement. Step into the new year with expectation, and that speaks to the hope we are talking about, but not with the sense of entitlement. This is what I deserve. The future is shaped not by the calendar, but by our choices. And this is a fact. The choices we make shapes our future. Reflection gives us wisdom, no doubt, but readiness gives us momentum. we must position ourselves not just to start a new year, but to steward it well, to direct it in the right direction that will match or align with our expected outcome. As we look at all these points meant to help us prepare very well for the new year, I want us to be reminded that reflection is not an exercise in nostalgia, neither is readiness a rush into the unknown. Because we say have to be ready for the new year, you don't have to just jump into something that we have not given a full thought on. Reflection gives us clarity because it's part of looking at what has worked in the past, what has worked currently, and what we intend to take a step further. But readiness gives us courage because it shows our preparedness. It shows that all those things, either we call it resolution or vision or goals for the new year, that we have penned down, we have strategies to match and achieve those things. And that in itself give us courage to go into the new year with faith and hope. In reflecting, we have looked back, not to dwell on what was imperfect, but to harvest the lessons hidden in our various experiences. Every challenge carried instruction. Every success demands responsibility because we also need to manage success so that it doesn't go into our heads. And every delay shapes our resilience. It's not for us to give up because we suffer delay, but it's meant to shape our resilience. Not giving up, a never die spirit. The past year or the outgoing year, I would say, it's not totally past yet. Still have some few days life left. Has already spoken, except for the 11th hour miracle. This 2025 has spoken, and we have understood the language very well. But what is important is that the wisdom therein is for us to keep. The wisdom is for us to keep in that language spoken by the outgoing year. Yet, we do not stop at reflection. We should step forward in readiness, making it intentional about our choices, disciplined about our priorities, and bold about the future we are willing to build. This means entering the new year not merely hoping for change, but prepared to lead it personally, professionally, and even collectively. So as we cross into a new year in a few days' time, let us reflect, not to dwell in the past, but to learn from it. May we do so with clear minds, renewed purpose, and steady resolve. Let us carry forward with what release what no longer works for us and commit ourselves to growth, impact, and excellence. The new year is not waiting to surprise us, it is waiting for our preparation. So may we meet it ready, grounded by reflection, and energized by possibilities. I hope this conversation today has inspired us to close one chapter, that is the chapter of the outgoing year, with gratitude. God, in His infinite mercy, has spared our life to see the year up to this point, and I pray will see us through out to the new year and many years to come. So we must be grateful. And with that gratitude, we must step into the next year with vision, resilience, and renewed resolve. I hope we have gained much from the discussion today. Like I said, we are going to have some changes in Connect with Comfort show, both the time of streaming and the mode of it come new year by the grace of God. That's our own preparedness and readiness for the new year. And that is what we have been encouraging us to do. While we were having this discussion, I have noted that some people joined us. There's Joshua. I didn't catch the last name, but our regular from Abuja, my sister Ojo joined us. Taiwo Ojo joined us from Abuja. Thank you very much. That is consistency personified. She has always been consistent on Connect with Comfort show. And I believe, and I want to thank you, but I want to believe that you have gained some things during our show for the year, and we jointly look forward to a better year to come. Filani from Lagos also joined us. Wendy Garuba Ayeni, my sister, also joined us from Lagos. I believe some people may have joined. I have not been able to catch their name. For those that have mentioned and those that have not been able to pick their name, I want to say I appreciate you all and all our viewers over time. Since the beginning of this show, you have been wonderful. You have been there for us, inspiring us to do a little bit from our little corner to make contribution to people's life and development. So we want to thank you and promise you a better outing come the new year. We are also at the point of reflection. And through our reflection, we have been able to plan some new things for the show that will take the show higher in terms of outcomes. We appreciate all of you, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the new year by the special grace of God. Connect with Comfort Show is ending the year with gratitude to God and to you, our team supporters and viewers. Okay, I've just seen Chuku Godi also joining us from Lagos. Thank you, Godi, for joining us. So I want to appreciate all of you, even if I have not mentioned your name, be sure that I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Our show will come live again by the special grace of God, sparing all our lives in the third week of January. Third week of January, Connect with Comfort Show will resume. But before then, we will let you know what is in the offering for all of us. I wish all of us compliments of the season, and thank you very much for your consistency with us on this show. If any of you have contribution, let me pause here and take your contribution. Otherwise, we will wrap up for the year. Any contribution? Okay. Our regular follower, Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, says, yes, today's discussion is very interesting and clear. We appreciate you. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. You love my cap. I put it on for all of you in a way to, this is our own way to wish you compliments of the season, since we are not able to come live on Christmas Day, and we are still in the Christmas season anyway. So Christmas is still in the air. It's the era of peace, era of love. So I wish you all uh, best of the season and happiness in your home, peace in your heart, and joy always. So I think we will be able to wrap up if we are not having other contribution from any of our online viewers. We'll wrap up and say, see you next year by the special grace of God. Thank you very much. Happy New Year in advance. Bye from all of us at Comfort Eyitayo. Till next year. Media, you are done. Thanks.